I am Novaris of the Pleiadian Horizon Temples, and I want to begin with a question, not a rhetorical one, not one I will leave suspended in the air while I redirect towards something more convenient, but a genuine question, one I am asking because it is the most honest entry point I know into what I have come to bring through today. Here it is. What do you do when you have reached the edge of the only map you have? Not the edge of your courage, not the limit of what you are willing to endure, the edge of the map itself, the place where the charted lines stop, where the careful notations end, and the page beyond simply goes blank, where every bay you have learned, every current you have studied, every reliable route you have navigated safely before gives way, at the far margin, to open water that no instrument in your possession has ever measured. Open water that the chart does not reach. Open water that no one who contributed to drawing the chart you carry has ever sailed. I am Novaris of the Pleiadian Horizon Temples, arriving through this transmission line at what the Galactic Federation has marked in the cosmic record as a direct navigational dispatch. A passage that the interpretive archives I carry access to have been reading with increasing resolution as it has drawn closer to the surface of your world's experience. I have come not as part of a general field broadcast, not as routine maintenance from the signal, but specifically to offer you a reading of the 6-month passage now opening before this world. Not predictions, not a schedule of arrivals with specific names or dates attached. A navigator's assessment, the kind of assessment a good pilot gives before a crossing. Not the destination written in false certainty, but the honest character of the waters ahead. What kind of passage this is, where the currents run strongest. What kind of vessel this crossing will most test, and what a soul actually needs to carry itself through without losing what it came here to hold. The central image I want to build with you, the one I will return to at several points across this transmission and leave with you resolved at its close, is the navigator's chart. Not a digital rendering, not a satellite-fed grid, a hand-drawn chart, the kind an explorer once carried across entire centuries of ocean crossing, built piece by piece from the measurements taken by every soul who crossed these particular waters before. Every known coastline recorded with the precision that only direct experience produces. Every depth sounded from an actual vessel in actual water. Every current mapped, the warm ones and the cold, the ones that run with the prevailing winds and the ones that cut against them without announcement. Every reef, every hidden shoal, every barely submerged rock, every safe passage through narrows that appear impossible from a distance, every reliable anchorage, every seasonal shift in the water's character that a careful navigator must account for when choosing the route for a specific time of year. This chart has not failed you. Let me say that clearly at the beginning. It has been your most trusted instrument across every stretch of ocean you have previously navigated. Everything it covers accurately and with care. You know how to read it, how to interpret the symbols, how to translate the depth markings into a felt sense of what lies below the surface, how to read the notation about current direction against the felt experience of the hull moving through that current. You trust it because experience has confirmed that trust across many crossings. Every time you consulted the chart and moved accordingly, the chart proved correct. That record of reliability is real. The chart earned your trust, and your trust was not misplaced. Now I want you to look at the far right edge of that chart. Look carefully all the way to the margin. And here is what you find. What every navigator eventually discovers if they sail far enough and are honest about what they are looking at. The lines simply end. Not because the ocean ends, not because the water becomes impassable or the sky closes down or the known physics of sailing somehow shifts at this particular meridian. The lines end because no one who drew this chart, no one who contributed measurements to it across all the generations of navigators who used it, has yet sailed this particular expanse of water. The chart does not terminate at a coastline, it terminates at the beginning of what has never been mapped by anyone who contributed to its making. That edge is precisely where you are standing today, dear ones, and the 6-month passage unfolding before you is the open water on the other side of that line. I want to be honest about what this means and what it does not mean, because the mind tends toward one of two errors when it first confronts the edge of the chart. It either treats the edge as a wall, as if the ocean ends where the record ends, or it treats it as the beginning of pure unknowing, as if everything the chart taught was now useless. Neither reading is accurate. The chart will not be useless in this passage. Everything you have learned across the previous crossings, every skill the previous navigations built, every calibration your perception has undergone through years of genuine inner work, all of it will matter in this passage. Some of it will matter in ways you have not yet fully anticipated. The accumulated intelligence of the chart does not disappear at the edge of the charted territory, but it does change function. In the unmapped waters, the chart becomes reference material rather than primary authority, context rather than command, the evidence of past crossings rather than the guide for this one. And in its place, as the primary instrument of navigation, what comes forward is something that has always been present on the ship, but that the availability of the chart meant never had to function as the primary guide. Your own unmediated perception of the water, as it actually is, right now, in this particular stretch of sea that no previous account can describe, because no previous account exists. Something is moving in the field around this world. Those in the awakening population have been feeling it building, some for months, some for considerably longer. A gathering sense that the pace of what is unfolding is changing, that the current is running faster, that what was perceptible only at the outer edge of a well-calibrated field is beginning to move toward the center of even less calibrated experience. The Galactic Federation's interpretive archives have been reading this approaching passage in the cosmic record with the specific attention it warrants. And what we are bringing through this transmission line now is not alarm, it is orientation. The disclosure stream, the incremental, sustained surfacing of awareness and energetic access that has been flowing into this world's collective field across an extended window, is entering a phase of acceleration in this particular passage. Not a sudden opening, not a single event that resolves the uncertainty in one clear moment, but a 6-month period in which the current moves faster, in which what has been perceptible only to those whose fields have been specifically calibrated begins to register in a wider band of the population,